Hello, here we are in Greece in the second lockdown of this pandemic in November of 2020. As I said in another video, for me it's like being pushed into a cave. And a cave, of course, is isolating. There's not much freedom in a cave, even if it is a big one, it's limited. But at the same time, it is very protective, and a lot of things may be synthesized and born in there during this period of being inside the cave. So for me, a series of video is produced. I call them In the Cave. This is the second video of In the Cave, and its theme is about a very common phenomenon that exists in our time since many years, and it's even more acute during these days of quarantine. It has to do with the positive thinking and the forced optimism. Just even started now the lockdown, and it is billions of posts, of suggestions, of blogs, and I don't know, whatever, coming from everywhere, saying see it differently, become optimist, hope, love, forgive, and see the light, go towards the light, think positively, mostly is this. And when I see this, I feel both angry and stupid. Angry because it's this imperative tone, do it, do it, do it, become this, and stupid because it is like as if there is somewhere a button that I can push and change immediately from a dark mood, a blue mood, to a very happy mood and full of light and optimism. And it is as if they know where they are, and they assume that I know too, but I'm so stupid that I'm not pressing it to change my mood. So they say, do it, you can, become this, do this. So it's a little bit, not a little bit, it's a kind of manipulation, and violent manipulation also. It is a kind of violence and abuse. So for me, it's a very, in our days especially of the lockdown, is a very dangerous, let's say, suggestion, all this, because it does not permit us to become, to feel, to sense, to become aware of our wholeness. Because we are holistic beings, and as it is night and day, I always say these examples, naive examples in my lectures, winter and summer, black and white, whatever. In life there is optimism, there is pessimism, there is a lot of joy, much more pain, okay? Polarities do exist. The phenomena are manifest in our perception through their polarization anyway. We cannot understand the good weather if there was not the rainy or the bad weather. The same is for our moods, for our emotions, for our feelings, and so on. This obsession about think positively and all this, and especially when they are based also in recent studies, prove that positive thinking is good for stress and so on, all this extremely superficial way of thinking and seeing things. For me, it's abusive and very dangerous in our days. Anyway, it cannot be done. We cannot be forced to optimism. Even if in our days this positive thinking and optimism achieves a kind of moral value, it becomes a kind of, that is a good thing to think positively. You are good in this. It is like the abuse of a very important word and concept, spirituality, that light and optimism and hope and all this is connected with spirituality. I mean, when the word is abused, spirituality is very okay as a concept, but in this very kitsch abuse in internet and in social media, it is associated with all this enlightened pathway in life, which we can follow it, but we are so stupid we cannot find the button to push it and follow it. So, as I was saying, it's anyway, we cannot be forced, we cannot by force go to this pathway. Why? Because Joseph Zinker, a very beautiful theorist in Gestalt therapy, said, myself is relational in the sense that it happens, it is actualized, it is born, the self, according to the each time interaction with the environment. He uses very nice shape to show the relational approach to what is self. So a variation, a simplified variation of this is what I'm drawing now. Let's say that me is this entity, here is the environment, and so we develop a lot of aspects of self. Here is my brave self, here is my timid, here is my highly mental, here is when I am in the flow, here is logic, here is romantic, here is cynic, here is tender, anyway. So according to what happens to us, we call upon in duty a certain aspect of us to organize our interactions with the environment. So let's say that for some, let's say only schematically speaking, that these are, I put them together to make clearer, easier what I want to say, to show what I want to say. Let's put here some very optimistic aspects of myself. I'm joyful, I hope, I'm optimistic, I see the light, I forgive everybody, I love everybody, anyway. So here it is this group of aspects of mine. And it's okay. For some time, I can be like that. It's a big discussion, this. I speak about it much in my book about the shadow. But I can only say that anyway, in our non-conscious parts, all the time happen huge transformations, a lot of interactions of non-conscious material interacting, going up, reaching our consciousness, which is only 12% of our being. The rest is body and emotions, feelings, and non-conscious. So it is very normal that sometimes, for no reason, not because it is only the quarantine, but for millions other reasons, I need to become my other aspects, which are, let's say, the more the more pessimistic ones, the more dark ones, okay, and it's my sadness, sometimes even my desperation, it's my agonies, my loneliness, my futility, my fear because of futility in life, whatever, fear of death, anger, whatever it can be there. But sometimes there comes a time that even if I live like that, this other part of mine, because I am an holistic being, ask for my attention, so it tends to become like this. And happiness for me and functionality is not to eliminate these aspects because they are mine anyway, but to manage to achieve a state of harmonic flow and balance between this situation and this situation and this situation according to what happens. And what these people say to me is actually to become all the time and only exclusively this. This is bad to be. This is okay to be, they say. But look what's happening. Let's say that I have a relationship, okay, or I am alone, never mind the example. Let's say a relationship I have. When I am like that, here is my relationship. On this background, if I experience my relationship, I can be very calm, very nice, I can feel safety, I have beautiful feelings, I trust my companion, and so on. And when I am like this, what happens is that changes the background on which I experience, I perceive my own relationship, and so come different feelings also, different emotions, different thoughts. Is he, she faithful to me? Is the good person for me? Okay, and if I'm alone, what about loneliness? What shall I do? I feel there are some Saturday nights that I am alone and comes to me, I cannot stand anymore my loneliness, I need somebody, and so on, so on, so on. Anyway, what we do, and this can be business, friendship, family, relationships, whatever, changes meaning according to the background on which we see it, we perceive it, we are experiencing it. So if I do like this, I reach, it's like cutting reality in half, in two. And even more worse, much more worse, is that all these suggestions about this polarizing, this violent polarizing between light and darkness in me, it is like cutting me in two. But in nature we know that all systems, they tend to explore reality in order to devise their next state of dynamic balance. So the best next position in time for a system is the result of interactions, of processes of interactions actually between all the elements of the system. What these people say is that do not permit these to affect you in life, to affect in your steps in life. Actually, they are saying to me to become like this, to become like this, to be cut in two, to be split violently in two. And even worse, they say to me that I have to do this with my depressive moods, my bad feelings, my agonies. I have to do this. But I cannot throw away this. Why? Because I am an holistic being. It's mine, this. So even if I don't pay attention to it, I carry it as I change. But as I consider it as a bad thing, something heavy, a heaviness on me, I try to kick it out, so I cannot find good positions for myself and as I go in time, and because I carry this with me. Even if I don't see it temporarily, if I don't perceive it this, there will come a moment that it will ask more and more violently its participation in moving, and this can be cancer, 20-30 kilos, I don't know, a lot of other diseases that exist, or a huge depression from which it's not at all easy to get out. Anyway, we cannot cut ourselves in two. We cannot abandon the half because it's bad. Somebody said it's bad, this tendency to see as bad that our dark sides, our bad moods, our dark feelings. We cannot abandon them. We cannot cut ourselves in two, in one part with all the categories of these aspects of self, of ours, to leave it aside, to throw it back, to push it back, and keep on marching, being cut, split in two. It is impossible this to be done, because, okay, it's a lot of reasoning on this. We know it from physics, from different fields. It's not our thing today to argue about it. This is, of course, my personal approach only, and my personal opinion. So what I say is that I need my dark side. Please let me be dark sometimes. Let me be full of agonies. Let me be frustrated, fearful, to feel threatened, to feel despair, or just to feel moody, to feel blue sometimes. It's okay. Permit me, please, to all the gurus and teachers in this world of New Age that have flooded the Western world. So please let me be, and let me create my own harmonies in my dark sides, in my illuminated, enlightened aspects of self, and let me find a dynamic balance, and with this pulse, with this breath, I can advance in my timeline on this earth. So the secret for me, it's not to cut in two, it's to permit our wholeness to be, but not to identify permanently with one or another group. I cannot be all the time happy. My muscles here will be paralyzed from the smile, and I cannot be permanently in, let's say, in the mud of my depression and of my bad feelings and whatever, and of my desperation, because it's a little bit also in this way narcissistic. It's the narcissistic melancholy, let's say, in a way. Okay, these different approaches on these themes. However, for me, it's not to identify permanently. It's like having it's like a child, and you say to the child in the evening, okay, today you ate 4 extra ice creams, you ate pomfret, fried potatoes, we went to the Luna Park, you played with George, I don't know, but now you are going to sleep, finished. The day is over. So this creates this flexibility. And who says to the child in this example, I want to make the analogy, who says to the child, now go to sleep? It's like, don't identify too much with one or the other part. And who says this? It's our totality, our wholeness. If we train ourselves, our awareness, and reach our awareness to feel our wholeness, we know, we can understand when the mood is to change and there is a harmonic flow. Because there is no any rule in how long can I be happy, must I be happy, or must I be unhappy. No. A friend of mine, Katerina Apostolidou, when we were discussing about colors, she told me something I liked very much, that if we have a little pot with black and another pot with yellow, 2-3 drops of the black then can affect the yellow, but in order to change, to affect the black with the yellow significantly, we need a huge pot of yellow. So the colors are not the same. Their balance is dynamic and qualitative, not quantitative. I don't mean that negative, bad feelings, okay, negative feelings, it's a disgusting expression. Anyway, the bad feelings, however, to say, the dark feelings, it's more poetic, let's say, are more powerful than the positive ones. I don't say this. I don't imply this. I only say that they've got different dynamics. So we have to permit our wholeness to devise, to explore, to find its own dynamic balance from moment to moment, from one state of balance to the next in our life. Thank you very much for watching. I wish to you to be in this lockdown safe, healthy and creative. Creativity is a very good way to find this balance. We can say it maybe in some another video that will emerge from the cave, or at least from my own cave. I wish to you to be safe, healthy and creative. Bye bye.